In this video, we're going to be going over a sampling method called systematic sampling. So we're going to take a look at this example together. I've listed the steps off to the right-hand side, and notice that this is asking us to collect a systematic sample of 6 people using line 144 of the random digits table to select our starting point. Okay, so we have our population list here. We're going to follow these steps on the right-hand side. So step number 1 says that we want to divide the population by the sample size, round down if necessary, and label this value K. Okay, so if we take a look in the prompt, it did ask us to select a sample of size 6. So sample size is normally labeled as lowercase n. And then if I take a look at the list of names, these list of names represents the population that I'm selecting from. So if I count the number of people, the total number of people in my list, that would be our population size. Okay, so it looks like there's 20 names in that list. So my population size is 20. So this first step, I'm going to take that population size and divide it by the sample size that we want. In other words, big N divided by little n. It's going to give me a value of K, remembering that if there's any decimal there, we want to round that decimal down. So big N for this particular example is 20. My population size is 20. I want a sample of size 6. So I'm going to divide 20 divided by 6. That's going to give me my value of K. So if I take 20 divided by 6, that gives me 3.3 repeating. Remember, it says round down if necessary. So if we have any decimal at all, we're going to round this number down. If it comes out to a whole number, you do not need to round down. You would just keep that whole number. That would be your value of K. Our value of K is going to be 3. We're rounding that 0.3 down. Okay, so we want to round down so that K is a whole number. Okay, step number 2. We want to number the first group 1 through K. So whatever your K value is, you're going to number 1 up into that number for K. So for our example, we're just going to number 1, 2, and 3. So at the first of our list, 1, 2, and 3. That's what we're saying is our first group, 1 through K. Step number 3, we're going to randomly select our starting point. So we can't just always select person number 1 because that would introduce some bias. There's no randomness to always selecting the first person in the list. So we randomly select our starting point so that we're not introducing that bias into our sampling method. Okay, so this is where that random digits table is going to come in. So it's specified in the prompt that we're going to use line 144 of that random digits table. So I'm going to look at line 144, and I'm going to select single digits, and I'm looking for a number of either 1, 2, or 3 to start at. So let me pull that random digits table up that we're currently using. And let me zoom in on that a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go down to line 144. Maybe I can't. Okay, I can't. Let me zoom in a little bit, but okay, 144, it's towards the bottom here. Sorry that can't zoom in any further. If we look at line 144, the first single digit number is 6. That is not a 1, 2, or a 3. So I'm going to disregard that 6. The next single digit is a 2, and that is a number that's within our range 1 to K. So my starting number is going to be 2. So Blake is going to be my starting point. He is also the first person in my sample. So now step number 4, we're going to select every kth term after that. So remember, K is 3. So I'm selecting every third term, every third person in the list. So again, I'm selecting Blake. I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3. I'm going to select Kenny. 1, 2, 3. I'm selecting Linda. 1, 2, 3. I'm selecting Sarah. 1, 2, 3. I'm selecting Tony. 1, 2, 3. I'm selecting Christina. Okay, now I'm going to actually stop there, even though if I count down 1, 2, 3, I could select Piper. However, if you notice, I already have my 6 people, right? We wanted a sample of size 6. So we're going to stop that selection process if we get to our sample size of 6. So my sample would be Blake, Kenny, Linda, Sarah, Tony, and Christina. Okay, this is how we select a systematic sampling.